Where do we come from? Since the beginning of time, man has struggled with this question. It's almost like we've been hardwired to seek out our origins and understand how we came to be. Perhaps that's why nearly every culture has a creation myth, a story of how man and the world began. Today, we'll be looking at one of those stories, from the Native American tribe of the Inuit people, about the first humans and their unlikely guide. This is how the raven befriended humanity. Our story begins before there were any people or animals, just a cold, barren and empty earth. That is, except for a large pea vine growing on the beach. And in one of its pods lay the first man. The man lay coiled up in the pod for 4 days, and on the 5th day he stretched his legs and fell out of the pod, fully grown and completely alone. The man examined himself curiously, as he was the first of his kind. After looking around, he began to feel a strange discomfort in his belly, and he drank some water to relieve it. And so, he learned of thirst. At that moment, something unexpected filled the sky. A dark figure flying straight towards him. A raven. Now, the raven is a recurring character in Native American mythology, and is usually portrayed as a powerful trickster, shapeshifter, and cultural hero. The raven landed and stared at the man. Then, he pushed his beak up like a mask, transforming into a man also. He continued to stare at the man until he finally asked, "What are you, and where did you come from?" The man explained that he just came from the pea pod, and the raven blinked in surprise. "I created that, but I didn't know it would produce you." He took the man to higher ground, and when he realized the man had only had water, he told him to wait. He lowered his mask, turning back into a raven, and flew off. A day passed, then 2, then 3. On the 4th day, he finally returned with some salmon and berries. The man ate and was satisfied, and so he understood hunger. Next, the raven took the man down to the river and molded a pair of mountain sheep from clay. He flapped his wings over them 4 times and they sprung to life. But when he noticed how delighted the man was to see them, he hesitated. If he likes them this much, he thought, soon people will hunt them till they are no more. So he made their home in the high cliffs where they would be harder to reach and kill. He then made reindeer, tame ones with mottled coats, and wild ones that he brought to life before their bellies were completely dry. This is why wild reindeer have white bellies. As the raven worked, he realized that the man was lonely. So the next thing he did was to create a companion. He looked at the man like an artist examining his model, and then molded a figure much like the man. As a finishing touch, he took some fine water grass and stuck it onto the head of the sculpture. He flapped his wings over it 4 times, and the first woman was born. The raven took the man and the woman to a small hill where they slept comfortably. But the raven wasn't done. Over the next few days, he created more animals, fish for the rivers, shrew mice to give the land some life, and birds that could walk the ground but could not fly, because there were no trees yet. With each new creation, he explained their purpose to the man and woman, and life began to bloom. Time passed, and the man and woman started having children. With each child, the raven told them to go to the creek and rub them down with clay. And each time, in 3 days, the child would grow to a full-grown adult. This was done so that the earth could be populated quickly. Now the raven was on a roll. He made insects to fly over lakes and fill the air, muskrats for clothing, and beavers to populate the lakes, and show man how to build a strong house like the dam. He made bears because he thought to make something that man should fear. But the bears were so fierce that they scared even him. He told the man, "You should probably stay away from those ones." At some point, the raven went back to the pea vine and saw that more men had come out of it, just as confused as the first man. The raven led them in the opposite direction to a land close to the sea. He grew some small trees and bushes and used the wood and some cord to create a bow. With this, he taught the men to hunt and how to make fire. He also made them some female companions and showed them how to make houses from logs, clothing from seals, arrows and spears to catch animals, and kayaks for fishing. When he was done, he suddenly realized that the new people were now better off than the first, whose land was still barren, and so he went back. For the first people, he created a beautiful forest, bringing shade and also flying birds to live in the trees. He also showed them how to build houses, fish, and most importantly, to make fire and cook the fish. Finally, he stood back, looked around, and sighed. He was done. And that is how Raven ushered life into the world. Not by creating humans, but by helping them thrive. Though known in other stories as the trickster, here Raven is a mentor, a maker, a teacher. He gives without asking for anything in return and crafts a world of balance and purpose. Like many creation stories, this tale isn't just about beginnings. It's about a worldview. To the Inuit, the natural world isn't something to be conquered, but a living partner, a place where every creature, from the mighty bear to the tiny shrew mouse, has a role. This story reminds us that guidance can come in unexpected forms, and that when nature thrives, so do we. Thank you for listening to this tale. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and comment, especially if there's a story from your culture you'd like to see brought to life. Until next time, friends, stay curious, stay kind, and keep the stories alive.